Section 1.6 Multiplying and dividing real numbers, properties of multiplication and division.
Logical path for multiplying real numbers. From arithmetic, we know that multiplication is just a shortcut for addition, and we will use this idea to develop the product rules in algebra. This is what we are going to practice on the next slides.
For modeling, we will use idea that multiplication is a shortcut of addition. If we have 3 times 2, which is positive 3 times positive 2, how can we show this? It will be positive $2, positive 2, 2 more, and positive 2. As a result, we will have $6 or positive 6. So positive 3 times positive 2 is positive 6. Next example. Positive 3 times negative 2. Negative 2, 2 units credit. One more set of 2 units credit. And one more set of 2 units credit. Together it's 6 units credit or negative 6. So positive 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Next example, negative 3 times positive 2. Negative 3, 3 units credit. One more set, 3 units credit. Together it will be 6 units credit or negative 6. Now we can show product rules. Positive times positive result is positive. Rule number 1. Positive times negative result is negative. Rule number 2. And negative times positive result is negative. Now we have these 3 product rules. Now we are going to use modeling to develop special product rule, zero product rule. But first let's look back. If we are going to multiply 1 times 2, we have $2 and we just take one set of $2 and it will be just $2. So 1 times 2 is 2, or positive 1 times positive 2 is just positive 2. Next, 1 times negative 2. We have set of credits, 2 units, and we are taking just one set, so negative 2 will be negative 2. And rule tells us positive times negative result is negative. And now let's develop zero product rule. If we have positive 2, $2, and we are going to multiply by 0, this $2 will disappear. Multiplying by 0, we are getting 0. So this $2 that just convert into 0. So 0 times positive 2, result is 0. Negative 2 times 0, credit 2 units. If you multiplying by 0, disappeared. So negative 2 becoming 0. And now we can show 0 times negative 2. Result is 0. So now you can see zero product as whatever you multiplying by 0 results in 0. Now let's talk about zero product property. negative 3 times 0, it's 0. And then negative 3 times negative 3 times 0, result is 0. And if something even more complicated, like negative 11 times positive 3 times positive 9 times 0, and result is 0. Or we can show, instead of cross, we can show parentheses. This is what we are going to use. Now what you can see in the last example, negative 5 times 12 times 0 times positive 6788, 6788, and result is 0. So 0 factor works like computer virus. Whatever you're multiplying by 0, it's becoming a 0. Whatever you're multiplying by 0, it's becoming a 0. In addition to first 4 basic product rules, we are going to develop a couple more. And rule number 5. If you have odd number of negative factors, result is negative. And if you have even number of negative factors, result will be positive. Those rules will be very helpful in next sections. So let's look into problem number 5. What we have, negative 3 times negative 4 times negative 1, or you can use parentheses around negative 4 and negative 1 now, or around all of them. So now determine the sign using the product rule. 1, 2, 3. We have 3 odd number of negative factors. So sign is negative, result is negative, and then we will multiply 3 times 4 times 1, it will be 12. Example number 6. We have negative 2 times negative 3 times negative 9 times negative 1. We have to determine sign first. So let's count number of negative factors. 4 of them. Even number of negative factors. So result is positive, and then we will multiply 2 times 3 times 9 times 1, and it will be 54.
Logical path for dividing real numbers. We develop the product rules for real numbers, and from arithmetic you remember that division is the multiplication by the reciprocal of the divisor. We will use this idea, and we will develop the quotient rules using the product rules, and we will practice on the next slides.
Division of real numbers. Let's look into product rules one more time. Positive times positive, result is positive. Positive times negative, result is negative. Negative times positive, result is negative. Negative times negative, result is positive. Now, look into example number 1. 3 divided by 4, or we can show 3/4. Now, look at this 3/4. Division 3 divided by 4 is the multiplication by the reciprocal of the divisor, because we had to divide it by 4. So 4 over 1, and reciprocal would be 1 over 4. So we are just multiplying by the reciprocal of the divisor. So rules would be exactly the same, because it's just another type of multiplication. Removing parentheses. If we have negative 3 times positive 2, result is negative 6, we remove parentheses just by multiplication. And the next example, negative 3 times negative 2, and result is positive 6, we remove parentheses just by multiplication. Now let's talk about special notation. If you see negative sign and then parentheses and 2 within parentheses, and question is, how can we simplify? What we have here, we have situation, it's negative 1 times positive 2. this 1 is not visible, but it's there. So result would be -1 times +2. Negative times positive would be negative, and 1 times 2 is just 2. So result is -2. Another example. If you see negative sign and then -2 within parentheses, how can we simplify? Similar situation. We have to read this as -1 times -2. So this is multiplication. Negative times negative result would be positive. And then 1 times 2 is 2. So this golden 1 is not visible, but it's there. This is why we have to know how to read this.